New on Curiosity Stream.
With my infrared drone, I can see what others can't.
Drone pilot Doug Thron uses his bird's eye view for the ultimate good, saving animals from desperate situations around the globe. Join the rescue effort on a new season of Doug to the Rescue. And
You captured a Confederate steamboat?
We're taking the ship to freedom.
an enslaved crew, a stolen vessel, and a Civil War dash to salvation on impossible escapes. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Our question, what is your best story involving an animal? 206-421-ROCK.
Before we get to the phones, a couple of comments. It says, taking out the trash at night in Duval, reached out for the lid. The lid was gone. That's when I noticed the bear standing on the other side. I was inches away from touching it. Ew. But he didn't have to. The bear was touching itself.
Do you slap his ass?
No, give me through there.
Ow! Ow! Does he take off running, or does he turn around and just bitch slap you back?
Or is he turning around and be like, let's get it on?
If the bear doesn't see you and you slap his ass and scream at him, he's got to be freaked out and take off, right?
I would think
You give that a run.
Okay. Instead of him turning around slowly and seeing me like, I just get up there and go, "Hello!"
And he'd be like, we're about to get it on tonight. Someone here says, best encounter, getting sneezed on by an endangered manatee while on a canoe trip into St. John's River in Florida. Worst encounter, running over the bunny nest last week with a lawnmower.
Ooh.
Miles, you've been there.
Ooh.
The guilt will last.
Ooh. Oh, and one thing, it took me a while to figure out what actually I'd run over. I wasn't sure if it was a possum family. So I had to do a little, I didn't really figure it out until I had to clean the underneath side of the lawn.
Did you have a preference of what kind of family you hoped you'd hit?
I realized what I had done when I saw the good luck charm that was stuck in the blade.
Oh.
And that's when I could piece together, because back in the late 70s, early 80s, everybody had a lucky rabbit's foot.
Right.
So they're pretty easy to identify because everyone had one in a keychain.
I recognize that.
Yeah, I was like, I know what that is now.
You kill bunnies.
Because everything else was not really fully developed yet, so to speak. Like the babies were not. They're like the little
itty bitty pink,
the Ron
hairless,
pink penis.
You're right. Hello, Jeremy. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
So actually, I have a couple of stories. The first one, when I was stationed in Kuwait, every Thursday night we would barbecue, and depending on which way the wind was going, we would have an Arabian fox that would show up, and we'd feed it.
How do you identify an Arabian fox?
Because of his headdress.
Yeah.
Right. So they're kind of they have large ears, really skinny, long legs. So she would come up and we'd throw her brats and buns and whatnot. Well, one night I'm outside the shop, and it's a cool 90 degrees in the middle of the summer. And so she had jumped up on one of the picnic tables there right outside the shop, and I kind of looked at her and said, what are you doing? And she got down, and so I reached up and grabbed a brat out of the tray and kind of put my hand down, just sat there real quiet. And she slowly came up and took the brat out of my hand and then ran off. And one of my guys witnessed this, and he just whispered, that was awesome. And as she walked away, my second story involves a cow.
Back to the cows. Okay.
Right, so the first one is the fox ate your bratwurst.
Yeah, the fox, she was very skittish, but I was able to hand feed her that one time.
But you always gave her brats, right?
Yeah, we kept, her.
Hello.
Oh, you still there?
That was just the one night that she decided to go ahead and take one from me.
I got to ask, you said every Friday night you barbecued. Did you have a real choice?
Every Thursday night.
Did you have a choice of what you could, what was coming in? As far as what you could...
Yeah, I mean, we could get steaks and whatnot, but the thing was they were coming from the U.S., and so they would basically really freeze them. So we would get steaks that were like, we'd buy them in, say, December, and they were due in October.
Okay.
So, but I mean, they were fun. It's just, they took out, they would just keep them, basically frozen.
All right. Okay. All right.
So what happened with the cow?
So with the cow, I grew up in Eastern Washington, and buddy of mine, two friends of mine owned a dairy, and we'd throw kegers and just have a good old time. Well, one night, a buddy of ours, Danny, went missing. We're like, oh, he went home for the night. We'll talk to him tomorrow. Well, we wake up the next morning, and we see Danny walking out of the pasture. And one of the cows thought he was a newborn calf and had licked him from head to toe.
Oh, he passed out.
He passed out in the pasture, and they thought he was a new, so they cleaned him.
Okay, right, this goes back to the question then. How smart are cows really?
Really smart, because that guy was out in the field and they gave him a bath. They gave him a bath.
It's a dude that they thought was another cow.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would leave the hospital carrying a calf, going look at my newborn baby. And
your
then
dog doesn't lick your face.
For different reasons. She does not think I'm a dog.
Does your cat ever lick it?
The cat's just like, I'm getting in your lap and there's nothing you can do about it.
But the cat never just give you a little kiss.
No, she's not a real mouthy cat.
Okay,
she
that's not a bad thing.
She's like a touchy-feely. She's more of a molester than she is like...
She needs bread.
Yeah, she's kneading you and sits in your lap and all that. Okay, Miles, this goes back to one of your theories of trying to feed the cow the jerky.
It's just a running theory. I haven't really thought this one through yet.
Yes, it's your running theory. By the way, somebody said you need to put out a book, something the equivalent of like, what is it? There should be a book called Miles Montgomery's Terrible Effing Survival Tips.
Hey, we never tried them. You don't know they're terrible. Yeah. Maybe one of these works.
Somebody here says...
Man, a lot of people have been using that theory lately that I know. You've never seen us two in the same room. You can't prove I'm not him.
Right. It says, what's up, fellas? I worked at McDonald's back in the day. There used to be chickens on the property next door. We used to feed nuggets to them. They ate that S up like the Rock on a cheap date.
See?
It's a chicken.
I'm just thinking, look, man, cows like to chew. If you know anything about cows, they chew. They're big chewers.
Is that they like to chew, or is it that they need to chew?
They chew and they chew and they chew. So I figured the beef jerky is the perfect thing to give them. Because when you think about things that adults have to chew and chew and chew, they really take a lot of time. That is number one, I think.
But how does it stop it from doing?
Because you don't want to swallow it because you're not really done chewing it. It's like, it would be like cow gum. You know what I mean?
So you're telling me
it would be.
You're chewing gum.
Right.
Somebody accosts you on the street. You're like, dude, I can either chew this gum or I can fight you. But I cannot do both of these things at the same time.
For example, if you give a piece of beef jerky, all right, and he puts it in his mouth, he can't fight you right then. Hold on. He's got to chew that.
One, he's not going to put it in his mouth. But it's a she, and you need to put it in her mouth.
He's not going to fight you. I'm just talking about a random dude in the bar, right? You give him a piece of beef jerky, he can't get into a fight with you until it's done. He's got to choose.
All right, I'm kidding. No, this theory's not going to work.
Yes, it is.
We're at the point we're about to fight, and you just go, here's beef jerky?
Here you go. All right, what I'm saying is...
To be fair, I would take him aside, like...
Here, dude, that's...
Thank you.
And
we're still going to fight, but...
Hold on.
Hang on one second.
Hold on.
This is some good jerky.
What kind of jerky are you eating?
Teriyaki.
Jerry, I feel like jerky's come a long way, and it's like tender and stuff now.
Right? You go with like Jack Link's, Oh Boy Alberto, what's your stuff so stale, Miles?
What I'm saying is there anything that you want to put off? Like just maybe somebody wants to get in an argument with you know what I mean? Maybe it's you and your girl. You're having a little fight over nothing.
Hey, baby, have some beef jerky.
Have some beef jerky.
Yeah, that's going to go over well.
You got to eat this first, okay? So you got to eat this first before we talk. So she puts the beef jerky in her mouth. This buys you time. This buys you at least 45 seconds to 60 seconds. And that diffuses the situation in that period of time. Because everybody's just like, this is pretty good beef jerky.
So then she was just hangry.
There is no chance you're going to have an argument with your girlfriend or your wife and go, hang on.
Wait for it.
Have some jerky, and then we can finish it.
Because she's got to chew it. So then she can't talk.
Have you tried?
She's so down for that.
I haven't tried it, but I know I've dated a couple girls that would just eat the jerky and then go, all right, back to my point.
Oh, yeah, that's going to happen.
That's why I think this will work with the cow.
That is some good jerky.
The big strips. Yeah.
Big old chunks.
Hello, Jennifer. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, Jennifer.
Hola.
Wait for it.
Yeah.
Jennifer.
We'll get back to her. Something's there. Hello, Jamie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So my story involves a former dog of ours. She was about 40 pounds, but liked to get up on the back of our couch, so she was kind of hovering over us and watching TV with us. And one day I felt sort of a weighty plop on my head, and she had taken a dump right on top of my head.
Why do you think she chose
a weighty
on your head?
A weighty plop.
Yes, a weighty plop. Why did she choose that? I don't know. I never thought she liked me very much. She always preferred my husband, so
clearly
maybe she was just trying to, show me who's boss, and she did. I stood up and ran away, speechless.
That is, what kind of dog was that?
She was a mix of like a pug and a terrier. And
Okay.
She sort of looked like a hyena.
Oh, sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it really does. Well, I guess you shed a little tear maybe when she passed on.
Yes, I did, but less so than others.
Well, look, it's like
sometimes I cry when I laugh too.
It's like your kids. Not that you've never met this, but you know what I mean. Like, maybe sometimes they're turdish or whatever. But there are times where you get an animal and you're just like, this sucks.
Yeah, for sure,
like,
man.
It could be 2 or 3 years of a child's life just when they're just being a nasty piece of whatever. You know what I mean?
100.
Yeah,
and this dog was definitely that dog. Loved her, but this dog would poo everywhere, day and night. It didn't matter what was going on, what food we gave her. She would just poo everywhere, and the head was, the top of the manor, no doubt.
How long did you have this dog?
She was a rescue dog, and we had her for about 7 years.
Why do you think she was being rescued?
And the worst dogs and cats always live the longest.
Oh, yeah.
The best ones die from tragic death, like 6-7 years old, or 5 years old, whatever, less. The ones that are just a pain in the ass, they stick around forever. They never go away.
But isn't that true of everything? Yeah, if you have a job you hate, they will never fire you. You can quit, but you'll never get fired. Doesn't matter. You can light the building on fire until you had a bad day. You go ahead and stay here. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, if there's a pet that you just don't like, you understand you got to coexist. That mofo's going to live for 23 years and never change. It only gets angry. Think about the kids that never move out of the house. They're not the responsible ones.
I mean, in
you
my
might
family,
move back in later, but homeboy, if you're 35 and like you've been living there the whole time, like that's not the kid that's doing the good stuff.
I think it goes with grandparents too.
You mean living?
Yeah, my grandma. I mean, was everybody in Northeast DC loved her and stuff. My granddad was a surly kind of mean dude. He lasted a lot longer.
My great grandmother lived to be 107. Now I don't know if she was nice or not. You have to understand. She was probably 100 years old when I was born, and it's just, as a child, I knew who she was. I knew it was my grandmother, and we would go there and visit probably 3-4 times a year, or great-grandmother. But she was still terrifying, man. Like you can't, as a child, even wrap your head around what you visually are seeing. You know what I mean? Like, you knew that old people had wrinkles, but honestly, at 100 years old, like, it's different, man. It's like when you crumple up a piece of paper and then you try to straighten it back out.
Right.
Yeah.
But she looked like that everywhere. And she had a voice like this. And she never said anything mean. But every time it came to her house, her little teeny tiny house with Jesus looking at you from every wall, it was, come here and give your great-grandmother some sugar. I mean, like, that's the voice.
That's my grandmother.
And it's just like,
my grandmother looks
I think I love you. I know I should. You've never said a disparaging remark, but you're terrifying.
My grandmother has that close-up black and white National Geographic face. It's like there's cracks in it. It looks like, like it's been a drought.
It's almost
like country. It's like they really get up on it close just as they're like, look how weathered and worn this thing is. Oh, it's a person.
It's almost like looking at their face under a microscope, except you weren't. You know what I mean? Like,
ooh.
God damn, I can see every skin cell.
What is that?
On your face. I'm 20 feet away.
That's a 3-inch skin tear.
You are like pixelated.
I don't think they can grow that far out.
Why are there so many of them?
It's like a worm coming out your neck. What's your best story involving an animal? 206-421-ROCK.
But wonderful people.
Right.
Lovely.
Like
Salt
life
of the earth.
experiences.
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
Sweet as can be.
Like real salt of the earth.
Strange smell, but
I'm so glad you're here.
Right? She's just being nice, but as a kid, that had to be terrifying.
You just turned 7 years old. I heard somebody had a birthday. Oh, my God. Hello, Jeff.
Why am I scared of her now?
Dude, I'm telling you, she never said anything bad. But she looked like the Crypt Keeper, and she sounded like that. And I had to love her, man. And I knew she loved me. I know it sounds bad. You don't know how to wrap your head around it.
My grandmother always...
come here. Sit on my lap.
My grandmother always used to put me up on her right shoulder. And even when I was a kid, and I just talked to her the other day. She's 96 years old. She would put me up on her right shoulder, and she would hold me, and just, it was such a warm feeling. I remember her smell and all that crap. And just...
You can't forget the smell.
It was an awful smell, but it was just such a comfortable place. And I don't know. And then I realized later on, like, she only had one breast. It was on the other side.
Really?
I'm just tucked right in there. You know what I mean? I didn't realize.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like... So no wonder I was so comfortable. And I have to do because her other breast was like down on her like on her thigh.
Yes, I never sat on my grandmother's lap. Got much older before I realized that.
It was like a little nook for me.
So we had a family friend. I think it was my grandma's friend, but same age. But unfortunately, she had breast cancer.
Yeah.
So she only had one. But as a child, when that lady tried to hug you, it was just like something's wrong.
Because you don't know.
You don't know.
No, you're right. It's the innocence of child. Looking back, you're like, oh, God, I feel bad. Don't feel bad. You didn't know.
One boo barber, Bob.
And somehow you can't really ask anyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
even as a kid, right. You knew something was off, but you don't ask.
I couldn't ask why. My great-grandmother had a visible mustache. You know what I mean? Just because in my mind, I'm like, well, guys have a mustache. My dad has a mustache. My grandfather has a mustache. So does my great-grandmother. But somehow, on some level, I knew, like, just don't ask. Are you staring at my mustache?
What is your best story involving an animal? 206-421-ROCK. You know she was.
Give me some sugar.
How about you? Do you know anybody with a hairy nose?
It was always sugar. It was,
right.
Come here, give me great-grandmother some sugar. I was like, no, not the sugar. I just don't want to do the sugar.
Oh, do you know anybody with a hairy nose?
Yeah, on the outside.
Oh, yeah,
yes. And I can't.
That's the male equivalent. Hairy nose guy.
Oh my God!
God damn, man! Shave your nose.
How do you not say that?
Seriously,
it's on top of your nose. It is the furthest thing out from your face. You can't tell me you don't see this.
Not a boss, man. It's almost like I wasn't even listening to him. Because if he was talking to me, if I looked at his nose, it looked like I was looking at his eyes. But I was really just looking at how big and thick the black hairs were that are coming out. Like they're just trunkish size.
I know.
It was amazing. And one of them had a curly Q.
Always
like,
one.
I'm like, oh my God.
Like above his nose?
No, it was on his nose. On the top of your nose.
Right, not through his
nostril. It had a curl in it.
Like on the bridge.
It was long enough to have a
your
curl.
Nose.
Like you can't see that?
It's like your unibrow slid down the front of your face and came to rest on your nostril.
Seriously, man. You're, like no one's ever said anything? Do you not have any real friends?
Jesus, man.
What is your best story involving an animal? 206-421-ROCK.
New on Curiosity Stream.
From time to time, we have collisions between asteroids and the Earth.
We track them. We study them. We hope the big one never comes. Don't look up. It's Asteroid Rush. And alligators. They rarely get sick. They even outlasted the dinosaurs. Could they hold the secret to human longevity?
Their blood could have antibacterial applications.
Wade into the investigation on immortal alligators. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with the dedicated road solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed.
You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
99.9 KISW. The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill.
All right, counts on the way. We'll sit and spin. We've got 10 of the filthiest songs to ever hit number one. Right after emails on our question, what is your best story involving an animal? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Jennifer.
Jennifer?
Jennifer.
She's gone.
I wonder if she's still there.
Deep down, I hope she is. Just because I'm like that.
We'll check on her. We'll check on her before we go to break.
Hello, Hank. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hola!
Hey, so I used to be a cop, and I was bitten at least 3 times, one by a pit bull, once by a cattle dog. And the last one, we got a call from a mother whose daughter had turned 21, and she was drunk inside the house breaking things. So I show up, meet the mom in the front. I could hear a dog inside. I said, hey, can you put your dog away? She said, no, it doesn't do nothing. I've heard that story millions of times, you know. I said, please put it away. She said, no, it's not going to do nothing to you. 10-4. So we go inside, the dog's by the front door. And this is one of those big Victorian homes where the hallway is long.
Right.
And I can see the dog at the end of the hallway just looking at me. And here I go approaching the daughter, and I could see the dog like prancing like a lion, about to pounce on its prey. And the dog is like a little Pomeranian mix, a little bit bigger. So
doesn't matter.
I'm facing the daughter, and through my peripheral, I can see this dog approaching, and boom, the dog jumped like 10 feet. And it was just a reaction. And I go, pow, with my right foot, like a karate kick. That dog goes flying 25 feet, hits the wall. And the mom's like, you bastard. She's like, get out of my house. I said, what about your daughter? She's like, forget my daughter. You killed my dog.
I'm sure the dog was fine.
Yeah, the dog was fine.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like an Amber Heard dog.
Now, wait. All right. Miles has a story of punting a dog while jogging. Kind of the same. No. But both of you guys, like, no, man.
The dog had bit me the day before.
The dog was fine. The dog was fine. Is this what all dog kickers say?
What?
Dog was fine.
Yeah.
A dog was absolutely
You let your dog run out and bite somebody who's in the street?
And you said that little ass Pomeranian. So how much does that thing weigh? Like 5 pounds, maybe?
10 pounds, yeah.
10 pounds. Yeah, but you're right. Like, I don't know what people expect you to do. I don't want someone to kick my dog, but if my dog is charging at them,
and they're going to bite me again,
I expect them to kick. I don't want them to, but I fully expect. Like, you're not doing it because you're a bad person. You're doing it because you're a person with that biological reflex that says, "I don't want to suffer pain. I don't want to die." Right?
Yeah.
If your dog, because I've had people yell at me like, "You hit my dog?" I'm like, "Your dog just tried to bite me, man. I did not walk up to your dog." And I will tell you, one of the baddest ass things I've seen, I did not know this was my dad, man. We had just moved to Baltimore, and when we first moved there, we were renting a house that my uncle owned, and it was in a new, they kind of tore down a block, rebuilt the townhouses, and then in the center of all of the townhouses was going to be a courtyard, but the construction wasn't done yet, so it's just all dirt, right?
All right.
So we're living there, and I think I'm 14 years old. We're sitting at this little tiny-ass dinner table, and out of the back window, you can see the mountain of dirt that eventually will go on to become a courtyard. Well, there have been stray dogs running around there, and we knew that for a while. Every day, this pack grew a little bit, but I got up to, I believe it was 11 dogs. And the one thing I always remember was this giant-ass white shepherd. So I don't know if it's a husky, shepherd, whatever, but, just big white dog, looks like a shepherd. But I just remember the wind was blowing, so like its fur is blowing back. It just looked kind of menacing, but whatever. They had not messed with people yet. And this is a densely populated city, so, again, whatever. Well, one day, this pack, they're always roamed around. They kind of made this dirt pile in the center of all these houses, kind of their meeting ground, if you will. This little-ass kind of yippy dog joined the group. But all the other dogs, because it was the runt, kept getting after this thing. And it's screaming and crying and all this, and we keep looking out the window. And my father, he just got home from work, so he's still wearing a vest back in the day. He's got his necktie on, and he's reading the Baltimore Sun. He's reading the paper, and he keeps looking over his shoulder outside. He'd ignore it. This goes on for like 10 minutes, man. Finally, doesn't say anything. Stands up. God damn it. Rolls up this newspaper. Walks outside. All right, keep in mind, it's like 11 dogs. And my mom's like, Robert, what are you doing? And he used to be a paper boy, and he used to swear by this, but I finally saw it in action. He had that rolled up newspaper. That dude is like a ninja with nunchucks. He beat the S out of these dogs. I mean, it was And I mean, they're jumping all this stuff, and we're thinking he's going to die. And I swear to God, you just see him from the back in his suit. Crack, wham! Like, he knew what he was doing, man. And these dogs are going down left and right. He's knocking them all unconscious, right? He scoops up this little piece-ass dog that was getting all torn up, walks in the house, right? And I'm just like, oh, man, right? And he slams the door. He's just irritated because to him, it's an injustice. My mother and I recognize this is what dogs do, but they have to pick it on something smaller than them. God damn it, they didn't know what to do with my ass, did they? Mother effing, right? So he's got this little dog. I'm like, can we keep it? He's like, F, no, we're not keeping it. I thought I had a shot of getting the dog.
Oh, man.
Like, no, he took it to the vet. That was it.
He's just not going to let it get beat up by the other dogs.
Yeah, but I thought, he's going to bring this home, man. That's cool. He's like, F, no.
What is your best story involving an animal? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Jennifer. Welcome to the men's room.
Oh, for
Jennifer, come on.
Come on, you can do this.
I really thought she was going to be there this time.
For real. Hello, Charlie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, guys.
Hola.
So me and my girlfriend, we were full-time RVers a few years back. We were traveling the country. We had our dog with us, Daisy. She was a Doberman. And we decided to go down on the Oregon coast one day. And there's a really high bluff, and you would, just come down the road, and you would park there on the top of the bluff. And way down the bluff, I'd say 40, 50 feet was the ocean. So I wanted to go down there with the dog, and my girlfriend, Carla, she wanted to stay up at the top. So me and the dog, we go down, and we're walking down the beach. And, I mean, we must have been down there for an hour and a half, and we're getting further and further away, and I can't see nothing. So we decide to turn around, and we're walking back, and finally, I can't see nothing. I can't see her. I can't see our Jeep. So I decided to climb the bluff with my dog. And thank God she had a harness on, and we started climbing this bluff, and the grass is just super high. If it wasn't for her, we would have never even made it up. She pretty much pulled me up the entire way. And what was the craziest part about it was my girlfriend, she was at the top of the bluff, and she had been looking for us for a while. And finally, she just got tired of it and sat down in the grass. And then all of a sudden, here, me and Daisy, we come up over the hill, and there we are. I'm drenched in sweat. Man, it was horrible. My feet were soaked. I had mud all over them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even believe we made it up there.
I can't either.
I wanted to call in. We lost our dog back in the wintertime.
That sucks.
You guys did your guys' show today. It made me think of her. I just wanted to call in and share that with you guys.
Dogs are good for that. I remember the one of the first times I went camping as an adult, brought my shepherd along, whatever, and there's 4 of us there. I just want to go off on my own. Just give me a minute. They're like, fine. So when I first left, I did not want to bring the dog with me because in my mind, it's just this added responsibility. But the dog kept showing up behind me. Finally, like, whatever, come on. So we walked for like an hour, right? And in my mind, I'm saying stuff like, remember that tree? Blah, blah, blah. You get that. Look, after an hour, you turn around. It's just the woods. I do not know where I am. I do not know where I came from. And I'm like, oh, man. I mean, because I'm not close to anybody at this point. So the dog just sitting there wagging his tail slowly, looking up at me. And I'm looking down at her, and I'm like, man, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? And there's no cell phones back then or anything. So I just looked at the dog and went, okay, which is the sign, let's go home. 10-minute walk, took a straight line right back to the camp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I meandered everywhere. And in the end, somehow the dog knows exactly where we need to be. Probably just thinking, boy, that's a lot of walking to go 10 minutes. That dog saved my life.
I've done it with a dog, too. Like, every night, like at night, it was like the camp I was staying at, like tent I was staying at was like separate from the camp.
Right.
But every night, right, because there's nobody else down on this part of this property I'm on. But every night, this dog would walk me down.
Right.
Right. And once I got to my place, we'd hang out for a second and be like, all right, see you tomorrow morning.
They know exactly
where to go. Would do donuts. There's a flat, kind of a very sandy area on the Discovery Park Loop Trail.
All right.
And it's where basically the cliffs just go straight off.
Yeah. Okay, I know where you're at.
So let the dog off the leash because he likes to do donuts there. And this other dog is doing the same thing. So they start having a good time doing donuts together. Next thing I know, this other dog decides he's going to jump off the cliff. And Miles goes with him. And I'm like, oh man. And it's very sandy, but the sand is just, it's just falling basically into the sound at that point. And it's pretty steep down to the railroad tracks. That dog, man, I'd have to carry that goddamn dog up at least 200 yards where I'd get up 30 feet, have to stop for a minute. Even when I stopped and I was holding him, I was still sliding down the
back
sink.
down to the
yeah. I mean, you just had to keep grinding. I was like, why? And that other dog that he chased, that he jumped over, no problem. He just walked right up. He was a German Shepherd.
Oh yeah, that's easy for him.
Yeah, no. Frickin' Beagle just like, well, what do I do now? And I'm like, I cannot believe I'm basically crab crawling down this mountain to try to get his ass.
Is he just waiting for you, tail wagging?
He was 50, 60 pounds.
Yeah, he was not a light dog.
He was a big ass. What is your best story involving an animal? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Debbie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi there. How are you guys?
Hola. We're doing well.
Okay, my story is in Hawaii. I went snorkeling. It was beautiful. I'm in the blue waters, and there's a dolphin pod. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, this is so cool. So I'm with the dolphins, and one dolphin comes up, and he actually looks at me in the eye. And I'm like, oh, my God, it can't get any better. And he turns around. He swims in front of me, and I'm thinking, now I'm swimming with the dolphins. And all of a sudden, a gray, mass, chunky stuff goes in my face.
Aren't you supposed to do that with a glass table, a coffee table?
This dolphin,
or some cellophane.
The dolphin looked you in the eye and then pooped out.
Yeah.
That's where the real...
they're smart. They know.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
That's great. And then did he leave after that? Like, I poop on you.
Done.
Okay.
Yep, I pooped on you.
So he pooped on you, he was gone.
Yep, that was it. But, it's a great story, right?
Yeah. Does it wash, like, by the time you get out of the water, is most of the dolphin poop off of you?
Yeah, it was, I was the only one that knew it, because when I got off, it was just, I was clean. There was nothing to it.
Yeah, I was swimming in Maui, not too far off the coast, probably 15, 20 feet. Because, I don't like to swim that far out, because it freaks me the hell out. But at the same time, there was still a break. So the break was like, maybe 3 feet, 2 feet, whatever. It was 5 feet of water, but the break takes it up to about 7 feet.
Yeah.
So I'm swimming, man. I'm going out there because I'm going to ride in another wave. The hell with it.
Yeah.
So I'm swimming, but this wave's coming crashing over top of me. And I decide I'm going to submarine this wave, right? So I kind of dive into it a little bit, put my head down, and breaststroke real hard through it. And all of a sudden, it felt like my head hit a coconut. It was like, poop. And I was like, oh, God. Like, and I get up, and I'm like, I'm bleeding from a very small place. It wasn't that big of a deal, but it was a pretty good shot to the head. And this turtle, it was probably about a foot and a half long. He wasn't a big turtle, but it was still a turtle. And he was in the wave. And
that's the one spot you know.
And I cracked him. I mean, right in the forehead with this turtle. I'm just like, God damn, man. They're everywhere over there. There's all kinds of weird.
It is wild. Like, it makes sense because they're sea turtles. But yeah, every time you see a picture of them like swimming in the waves, you're like, these turtles are crazy.
Yeah, man, that's fun.
But what's the best story involving an animal? 206-421-ROCK.
What'd you tell me about a turtle today? A pet turtle.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. So this happened in Brazil. This is a tortoise, right? So okay.
Do we know the difference between a tortoise and a turtle?
Land.
Tortoise are what? Strictly land?
Well, I think they do both, but that's from what
I should know. But like a terrapin's different than a turtle, right? But it's still a turtle.
I guess.
Right, because I only know that because Maryland's the terrapins. There's a bunch of turtles, and they say fear the turtle, but they're specifically the terrapins.
Okay.
A family found a pet tortoise that had been missing. The revelation was that the tortoise was actually found in the attic of a home. Now, the tortoise, identified as Manuela, disappeared from the family home in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil in 1982. Even though there was a lengthy search for the animal, she was never found. The family then figured out that she had gone missing after builders left the front door open while they were doing electrical work on the home. Again, this is 1982. After 30 years, their father, Lionel, passed away. So the family then went back to his place to take his belongings, check on his home, and everything else. That's when they found the tortoise in the attic. 30 years later. Lionel's son, Leandro,
alive?
Yes, found Manuela alive inside a box containing an old record player. The family said their father thought he could fix anything, so he accumulated all the rubbish in the attic, but they were all shocked to see this tortoise still alive after 30 years. It is thought that he managed to survive by eating termites on the wooden floor and small insects. After a checkup, the family also found out the tortoise was a male and changed the name from Manuela to Manuel.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, tortoises can live to be 255 years old. 255 years old. They can live for up to 3 years without food or water. Wow.
I'm still taking a turtle over the parrot.
30 years later, they found the damn thing in the attic.
You're looking for that, and it's been there the whole time.
It's been there the entire time. What is your best story involving an animal? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Danny. Welcome to the men's room.
I've been here the whole time.
Hello, Danny.
Danny.
Maybe.
Hold on. Is it that line?
No. This is a different line.
Oh, all right.
I don't know. It's the same thing like when we get the Mickey Mouse voice on occasion. There's no particular line.
We've got some weird stuff.
It's just the system itself.
And it is the system itself, man.
It's always the system, man. Rage Against the Machine, bro. Yeah, I don't know what the hell goes on with their phones.
See, okay, here's the thing.
It's a simulation of a phone call.
If it's just a phone, and you pick up the phone, and it's just a phone that has like 3 or 4 lines on it, like the kind that you would have at your desk back in the day, and you push the line, and you pick it up, those phones work.
Yeah, they're fine.
As soon as you put it through the computer, all hell breaks loose. I cannot figure it out. It's insane.
I don't know. I don't get it. But yeah, something that, it's not buffering right. It's a phone call.
Right.
Why do we make this difficult?
What is your best story involving an animal? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Jim. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. So a buddy of mine moved into a new house out in the woods, and we took some mushrooms and decided to go for a little hike. And we went and walked, and he had 2 Rottweilers, and we're like, yeah, all right. Hey, and also we went, we better not go too far in case we get lost. And we turned around and went, ruh-roh, too late. So fortunately, we had the dogs with us. When we got done looking at the little babbling brook, we go, okay, let's go home, boys. They took us right home. We were so glad they were with us.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing, man. I had no idea. Like, you hear the story.
But somebody out there's got a dumb dog. No one's calling. I'm going like, yeah, my dumbass dog went the wrong way and kept on going. And, next thing I know, I made miles from my car, and I don't have a jacket.
You think someone's dog is that dumb?
Yes, it's happened.
Like the beaver that fells the tree on top of itself.
It's just not going back to the car. It's just doing its own thing because you're taking it for a walk, and it's going to get everything out of it.
I mean, it's not like if you leave your door open, your dog will probably run out. But I feel like they always tend to come back.
They do.
They just get excited. They're like, oh.
But if you're with them, they tend to think that you guys are on an adventure. They don't know there's a turnaround point.
No, I think they smell your panic, though. Like, something about him seems different. You know what I mean? Like, if you keep walking, they're like, hell yeah, all for the event. But when you're standing there, and I think when they see your head swiveling back and forth, they're like, this dumbass is lost.
Well, and dogs, too, like, they're like us, right? Like, at a certain point at that concert Saturday, I was technically lost. I couldn't find anybody else. But like a dog, I was smart enough to go to the beer line and find my friends.
You just know where to go.
Wow, they were there?
It was shocking.
In the beer line.
In the beer line.
At a Luke Combs show.
Getting twisted teas.
That's some luck right there. Ryan Castle coming up. We're going to sit and spend today with the 10 filthiest songs to ever hit #1. You are listening to The Men's Room.
New on Curiosity Stream.
With my infrared drone, I can see what others can't.
Drone pilot Doug Thron uses his bird's eye view for the ultimate good, saving animals from desperate situations around the globe. Join the rescue effort on a new season of Doug to the Rescue. And
you captured a Confederate steamboat?
We're taking the ship to freedom.
An enslaved crew, a stolen vessel, and a Civil War dash to salvation on impossible escapes. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.